Hey, welcome to it. It's our, third one? Our third edition of Live Mics and Dead Air. It's a bunch of radio people talking about anything. You guys ready?
Yay!
Thank you, are you?
We're really good at talking about nothing.
Nothing. I'm Keith
We
Vaughn.
get paid to talk about nothing.
I'm Keith Vaughn. We're going to go radio around the room here. To my right, we have...
Steve Bailey. What else you want?
We'll go to the next.
He's from KLR, if you don't know. I'm DJ Savoy from Hot 103.9, the Fallstown B-Rock in the building.
I'm Kelly Quinn, your classic rock female. I'm just going to go with minority hire.
There you go.
And I'm Brad Austin. I do the morning show on KLUI 99.9. I play lots and lots of country music just for you.
Ooh.
So there.
Well, I guess you
And
told
who's this
them.
guy here? Who is he?
Yeah.
I come on right after Brad. I'm Big Jim. 10 to 3 on KLUR.
Now, your name sounds familiar. How would someone know Big Jim in the Wichita Falls radio market?
He's the guy that hung up on the billboard. And
That's
he's the guy
right.
that froze himself. And he's the guy, everything that could possibly be done to raise money for a good cause. Big Jim's done it.
All right, we're going to jump around to a bunch of questions. We'll do quickly this roundtable. We're going to try to do this in under an hour. Yeah, exactly. We'll see if that happens. First question. Brad almost took the question right out of my brain. Weirdest radio promotion you ever dealt with? This is going to be like what was it called? The McLaughlin Group?
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that? I'd say
Wrong!
Yeah, inflation in Canada. Yeah. We're just going to start. I'll just throw it out there. Weirdest radio promotion you ever were involved with, or it could be a remote. What do you think, Savor?
I would say there was one time that we were in a town where we reached on one part of the street. So you had to park a certain way, so that way you can get the signal. And you were there. I don't know if you remember. We did dual remotes. You're at a different location. It was the same company, but it was just
Really?
two different
Oh,
things
my
that we were
gosh.
doing. And I had a winner that came from the office that was right behind me, and that's actually where the signal started. And then you move a certain way, so. It was still a lot of fun. I mean, it was 50 miles away from one.
Yeah. Well, that's a salesman who did not do their homework. Man.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Steve Bailey?
Well, God rest his soul, Scotty Preston. We did a promotion one time where the 022 thing against the Cowboys and the Texans. The loser had to wear a tutu. And Scotty lost. The Texans happened to win that preseason game. And he wore the tutu proudly. My daughters made those tutus. And he went a step further later and just dressed like a woman for no reason.
Oh,
He decided, I'm just going to dress like a woman all the way down to the heels and makeup.
I was at that remote.
He looked pretty good except for the mustache.
A little scary.
Hey,
yeah.
Did he shave his legs?
No, he did not. He didn't have to.
Steve, let me be the one to tell you what's going on. He really wanted to dress like.
I'm getting that.
Absolutely, yeah.
He really loved
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
No, he liked the attention.
You don't have to be
He liked-
Fellini to figure that out.
That was fun, but odd because I didn't expect the dress thing. And he just went all the way.
Crazy.
Yeah, we've got photos of that somewhere.
He had
Yeah.
the heels just on standby in case a special occasion
No, he
happened.
had my heels.
Oh, wow.
I had done that one time back at the mall one time too.
Wow.
With Bo Richards, we dressed up like women, raising money for something. I don't know what it was.
Keith, I think we could just
Yeah.
completely scuttle all the ideas of what we're going to talk about and just listen to Steve for a while, because it sounds like you got a lot going on over there, brother.
I have wore a tutu
Lots
in a
of-
commercial one time.
Yeah, lots of dressing in drag from Steve's past.
Yeah, tell him about that drag story.
Hey, every other weekend. Outside that,
No, Scotty, he loved, he just liked the attention. And boy, dressing in drag will get you attention.
Sometimes I like to dress like a woman too,
Kelly.
but not as often as I should.
Now, let's go over here and ask Big Jim, because Big has been a part of a lot of promotions over the years.
I can't say I haven't wore a dress, because I went to the women's build, which is one day set aside for Habitat for Humanity to build on a house for Habitat for Humanity. And I was asked to promote the women's build. The ladies of Texoma Christian Care Center were doing it. And I showed up in a dress and brought the house down. It was really kind of cool. I have been frozen alive. I'm really glad that it ended after that, because the next year I was going to be buried alive.
No.
Ooh.
But the company that put on these particular promotions
We're trying to kill you.
were trying to kill them, and they literally did. They literally did kill a DJ because he was buried alive, and it ended up collapsing down on him, and because of that,
Oh, man.
so they had a big, huge lawsuit, and the company went bankrupt, and
Imagine that.
then it was no more.
And then the wind came out of the sails of the podcast. We're all thinking about the poor guy who died. Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up.
What funeral home held that promotion?
That is a drag.
I don't know, but people were dying to go.
Man.
I did come really close one time to being buried alive in West Virginia, but I left right before.
That's
Didn't
even
have to
more
do it.
dangerous.
Yeah, West Virginia.
It was a
Like,
close one.
You don't know if those
Almost
people
heaven.
I know
passed their
they-
physics classes.
No, that's exactly right. I was not in Texas. I was in West Virginia, and I was frightened.
Dude, isn't that where all the miners got buried alive? I mean, like, it's kind of
While I was there,
par
as a
for
matter
the
of fact, they had
course.
that problem.
Baby
Yeah.
John.
They lived. All of them lived. They didn't lose anybody. They did have that happen.
I was getting, high five, Brad. He's waiting. There, don't leave him.
Did they have that parody
great.
song too?
Now all I can think about now. All I can think about is Steve Bailey's Mountain Mama, since he's been to West Virginia.
Oh,
And was there a banjo man behind him following him?
By the way,
Steve Bailey. I'll get you, Steve Bailey.
and by the way, it's true. In West Virginia, they love Mountain Dew. They have. If you go into a convenience store, you'll see the fountain drinks, and there's like 2 of them for Mountain Dew.
That's an East Coast thing.
Yeah.
When we were when I was a kid, we went to.
I love how you just said West Virginia is East Coast.
I'm talking about like the eastern part of the nation, I guess.
All right, we'll go with that.
When I was in Scouts, we did the
National
Jamboree was in Pennsylvania, and we went to the Coke machine, we called it.
Yeah.
And all that was in it was Pepsi and Mountain Dew.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
In California,
Same company, by the way.
in California, whenever I was living there was no such thing as Dr. Pepper.
In California.
In California.
Yeah, well, they live in a different existential plane.
So you went to the clinic and you met Dr. Pepper.
All right, Brad.
Before we go to Brad, can I say one thing about
What?
Russell real quick?
Uh-oh.
I brought up one time. I said, has anybody ever thought about this before? But he really resembles Hulk Hogan.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
We've always.
have you ever even thought about doing a promotion where you actually, I don't know how you'd tie it in, but dress as Hulk Hogan?
We're 68 days away from Halloween.
Yeah.
So
There's an idea.
No. Nor Herman Munster. I've
No.
been compared to
Really?
Or Gomer Pyle. I've been compared to Gomer
golly.
Pyle.
Golly.
I used to have Gomer. I used to have Gomer on my bowling ball, because that's what everybody called me in school, was Gomer. Yeah, so and I have
didn't
these,
know that.
I have these things that my son sent me where he put my face in Hulk Hogan's face, and it really does look like me.
Oh, yeah. You guys look a lot alike.
Really scary.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah.
So that's not a me thing. I didn't think of that.
No,
That's
no.
been brought up many
Oh,
times.
yeah. We've been
Yeah.
calling
Really?
the Hulkster for years.
Well, since we're on this topic, do keep in mind that there was a time that I went to More Ford, the Happy Face
What
place.
more for?
Yeah.
And I went there because they had a George Washington sale.
Oh, my
And I
God.
literally did dress up as George Washington. And I did my tire remote
remember.
speaking like this.
The powdered wig and everything, man.
I mean, it was everything.
Yeah.
I had it all. I mean, leotards.
Like, how hard
Well-
did you commit? Did you wear your wooden teeth?
Yeah.
No,
Well, you're lucky.
No wooden teeth.
Just his regular wooden teeth. He didn't.
And you could take Hulk Hogan easily because Lindy Parr has me as Mr. Potato Head now recently. So,
How about that?
And a
Yeah,
thumb.
yeah.
He just.
And a thumb.
Jim,
I don't get that one still.
Are there
but okay.
any pictures of you as George Washington?
There are none, and I'm very thankful for that.
Wow.
Is the face place
would
still
be great.
available? That was called the face place.
The Happy Face
The
place.
happy
The
face
Happy
place.
Face
More for the
I would have
Happy
went.
Face.
I would have went
All
for
right,
the
Brad.
Reagan.
Tell us about your crazy promotion.
Okay, the guy who used to own this place, named Sam, and those of us who worked for Sam will recognize this. One day, my phone rings. Okay, and once upon a time, I this is back in the 80s, and once upon a time, I got real close to a lot of adult beverage for a lot of my life, and one morning I woke up and I was really, really hungover, and the phone rings, and I said hello, and it was saying, "Hello, Brad. Yes. I need you down here at Sears today at 10 o'clock. It was like 8:30 in the morning. And I'm like, what? I just need you to come down. It's very important. Would you be down there? And of course, nobody ever said no to Sam. So So I got up, got dressed, got in my car and drove down to Sears downtown Wichita Falls and was looking around for Sam. And there he was. He said, "All right, come with me, please." So we go into this office, all right, and he takes out of this box this big Easter rabbit costume thing.
Oh, no.
I just need you to wear this for 4 hours because the person who was supposed to do it didn't show up, and I need you to do this. All right, now, of course, no one ever tells Sam no because he was paying us, and we were making $4.18 an hour back then. That was big money. And so I, like a fool, put on the bottoms, and everything was just unpleasant, but, just fine. Then I put on the top part, and I knew this was going to be hot and we're going to be really uncomfortable. And the next thing I know is I got to put the head on, and the head is kind of cockeyed, you know what I'm saying? And there was only one little place. The whole thing was just big and woolly and thick and furry and really, really hot.
Heavy.
There was one little place over here that you could breathe out of, all right?
Oh, God.
And so, and I had to kind of walk kind of like, have you ever seen the movie The Elephant Man? I had to walk like that to just get around. So I'm walking like the Elephant Man, and I'm breathing out of this little hole, which is on the side of the head, and I'm kind of... and walking around, and now he says, "Now just greet the kids for 4 hours, and everything's going to be just fine, and I'll pay you a full $4.18 an hour." So here I am. I'm walking around. This is right after Star Wars came out, and people think I'm like a gay version of Darth Vader because I got these big ears and I've got pink
I'm your
eyes.
son.
And so the first little kid walks up, and I'm just kind of standing there leaning up against the counter, and Sam goes, "Now walk over to that little kid, all right?" So I walked over there. Just walk over there to him and say hi. So I'm, "Hi, little boy." And I was like, I can't do this for 4 hours. But you have to, Brad. So for 4 hours, I walked around Sears going and trying to get little kids to walk up to me. And it was probably the least happy experience of my entire radio
And
broadcast.
you did it all for under $20.
Yes.
You you mentioned the Elephant Man. Did you see the movie?
Of course.
That's how he sounded. That's how he actually sounded.
Like Sam?
I mean, he's very
No,
wrong one. No, wrong one. Yeah. Well, take your pick.
God, I was just waiting for you to tell me you vodka hurled inside the head of the rabbit.
Well, there was a lot of vodka that got involved a little bit after that whole thing was over with because, man, oh, man, I came back to work on Monday, and I said, "Sam, I'm never going to do that again." He goes, "No, of course not, Brad, unless, of course, I asked you to."
We had when I worked in Oklahoma City, we had a big cat costume, that we'd take to concerts, and the kid would put it on, the intern, walk around, wave to the crowd and all. And it happened to be at the station one afternoon, and it was in one of the prod rooms, and they just brought it in after a remote. They had a bunch of other gear, and I thought it'd be really funny to put it on and take a picture with it and the whole thing. I put that thing on my head. God almighty, it stunk so. Oh my God.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
And
so
it probably stunk a lot more after I was done with it because, as Kelly just said, all them vodka sweats in there, man. Oh, hey.
All right, Kelly, what about you? You got anything?
So I wasn't in radio in the heyday of shenanigans. However, the better part of a decade ago, Brad and I used to do mornings on KLUR.
And it was delightful.
Delightful, my dear. And I came up with the idea of Try It Tuesday, where I would just go around town and I would try different things that I wanted to try anyway,
That was
and
a
then
beautiful
make a bit
bit,
of
by
it.
the way.
And eventually I ran out of new things to do in Wichita Falls. So I would just find the most disgusting food things that were trending on social media and make Brad eat them.
Oh, are we talking about jelly beans?
Oh, okay. That's not even fair because you're like Briar Rabbit with those disgusting things. You're like, oh no, don't feed me the black jelly beans.
Did I just bust your bit? I'm sorry.
Oh no, not at all. So yeah, I made a meat. We did chickles, which were like pickles stuffed with like chicken, like with Frank's hot sauce.
Whoa.
That was
Kinda-
actually pretty good.
Kind of delicious.
Yeah, that was good.
Way better than what I did to peanut butter, but yeah,
Was it peanut butter and mayonnaise, wasn't it?
we did peanut butter.
No.
Yeah.
It was
I
actually-
don't even eat mayonnaise.
It was pretty good,
but
actually.
It wasn't bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Peanut butter
part
and
of it.
mayonnaise.
I was a part of it. It was good.
Yeah.
Peanut butter and mayonnaise.
Yeah. It was really good, actually. If you
It
think
used
about
to be
it.
my little brother's favorite treat was peanut butter and
Well,
mayonnaise
back
sandwich.
during the Depression, they used that because there was a lot of fat in the mayonnaise, and
Yeah.
the peanut butter had some protein. It was a way to get some calories into you when there was no food available.
Hey,
glad I'm-
newsflash: peanut butter also has a lot of fat in it.
Yeah, true.
That's true.
I'm glad I have no peanut butter at home, or I'd probably go home and try it because now it's got my interest in wondering what it tastes like.
You could probably do it without the bread and still be all keto or whatever.
Oh, it's not even that. It's just I don't have.
Just as long as you ain't
I don't
gonna
have any
drag.
peanut butter.
You just take your index finger, scoop it in the peanut butter, your middle one in the mayo.
I think it would be more palatable if you used Miracle Whip.
Grody.
Oh, Miracle Whip is the
Like,
most
that's not even food.
I was brought up on Miracle Whip.
Ew.
My kids
That
still eat
explains so
Miracle
much.
Whip over Mayo.
You talking about the tangy zip?
Oh, no.
I like
You
it.
know,
Okay, I want to confess something.
Go
Here
ahead.
we go.
I want to confess something. When I was a kid, I was a pretty good kid, but then I hung out with this girl named Carrie, and she was kind of a bitch. And I remember going to the grocery store with her, and she was such a hoodlum. And we walked around, and we went to the condiments aisle, and we opened and closed every jar of mayonnaise.
Oh man.
That is a
You're
prank.
going to hell. You know you're going to hell.
Oh,
Potato salad was ruined all over
Do
Pennsylvania.
you remember that ice cream thing that went around for a while, where guys are going inside the stores?
Just a few years ago.
Yeah. God,
Yeah. I
And
hate
licking
you
the.
made me think of that. Thanks a lot.
that. Yeah.
You know what's funny about mayonnaise and Miracle Whip? My mother, like probably most of our mothers, grew up in the Depression, and so they didn't have mayonnaise because eggs weren't available because the eggs went to World War II for the troops and stuff. So that's when Miracle Whip first came out, and so I grew up thinking that Miracle Whip was mayonnaise. All right. So one day I get invited to lunch across the street at my friend's, the Mark Pearson. By the way, the Pierce Brothers are a great blues band here in town. Used to be anyway. And she asked me, "What do you want on your sandwich?" I said mayonnaise, and it was a bologna sandwich. And so she said it in front of me. I took my first bite, and I said, "Ms. Pierce, what is this?" And she said, "It's mayonnaise and bologna." I said, "I don't know what this delicious thing is on this sandwich, but it ain't mayonnaise." She says, "Your mom serves Miracle Whip and tells you it's mayonnaise, doesn't she?" I said, "I guess so." From that moment forward, I said, "Don't ever bring Miracle Whip anywhere near me, Ma. Go over to Mrs. Pierce and get her some real mayonnaise." 'Cause
I
that's
didn't
good
realize there was such a fierce Miracle Whip mayonnaise.
Miracle Whip is the most
Yeah, where do you
disgusting
land?
thing ever.
So what's that thing called salad dressing next to it? I mean,
I don't,
what's that?
Miracle Whip is salad
That's
dressing.
got
what it
no
is.
preference.
Yeah.
I got zero
You can't tell the
preference.
difference? Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
I can, but I
Price you can.
either one's okay with
Miracle
me.
Whip tastes like,
More of a lemony taste.
I was going to say copper, like blood.
No. I mean regular mayo. Regular mayo.
Oh, well,
has more of a lemony taste.
Mayo's-
Something tells me Brad's on the mayonnaise team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Miracle Whip.
I'm on the Miracle Whip team.
Yeah, and I brought my whole family up eating Miracle Whip. My kids,
love
that's all they'll eat.
Yikes.
This very day.
Really?
Yeah.
It's amazing,
I'm so
and they
sorry
still speak to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Brad, we can't
Yeah,
be
they do.
friends.
Yeah.
You
I'm
don't.
Sorry.
No, I'm
The
done.
relationship
You don't.
is over with. Can
you
I
don't
have
like-
my disc back, please?
I don't like either, to be honest.
No.
I'm German, so like even we make our potato salad, it's with vinegar and mustard.
Oh, German
it doesn't,
potato salad is the
Interesting.
best.
It
Oh, my
doesn't have
gosh.
mayonnaise. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not an abomination.
Once you've had German potato salad, you're not going to go back. Man, it's just the best.
When I was married to my, let's see, 1, 2, 3, third wife.
That's another podcast, Steve. That's another podcast.
Well, no, I was making Thanksgiving dinner for them one time, and Tammy's mother was from New England, and they have their own little special dressing made with oysters and all that stuff like that. And I refused to give in. And I mean, they had the food I made.
Oyster
and they,
dressing is fantastic.
I don't eat oysters, period. But anyway, I made mine, and she made her little one. And we always made big in our family. That's only way I knew to do it.
Sure.
And big old giant dressing, cornbread dressing, and everybody had the New England, and I wouldn't touch it. I could not touch it. I couldn't make myself even try it. I don't try new things, especially now.
Except marriage.
Because I'm I'm done with that too. I'm way done with that.
No, they're done with that.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might be
know
cracking in your age. I heard you wanted to try peanut butter and mayo.
Now, Jim, I'm going to back up to what I always tell people on the radio.
Yes.
I'm not a bad guy. I look bad on paper. It's just only on paper. I'm not a bad guy.
What number are you on, by the way? What is it? 4? Well, you know that.
Yeah, one more.
No, Scotty had 5. Six.
My former partner, Becky, this is way before Kelly, and 8. She's married to number 8. She had to go to New Mexico to marry number 8 because she had her absolute.
She hit the limit.
She had her limit here in Texas. She couldn't get married.
Oh, is it like fish? You can only catch so many?
In Texas, you can only be married 7 times, even though one of them she married twice.
Even if you throw it back, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Very much like fish. Yes. So,
All right, Steve. How many times for you, Steve?
4.
All right.
Wait. Let me point out one thing. And there's a girl in town here, still a hairdresser.
Divorce
We still
attorneys,
talk.
listen up.
We still talk, and she was in between all that, and we lived together for almost 5 years, longer than any of my marriages.
Well, there you go.
Well,
And,
Common marriage.
The irony.
and she was 20 years younger than I am.
She's just.
I sat back one time and told her, I said, you know that someday this would never work because the age difference is going to really play in. I talked to her about a week ago, and she goes, you were right. So, and because it does change a lot.
Stand so close to me.
man.
I'm 70 and she's 50. Imagine,
Whoa. Save that for another podcast.
Yeah, that was hey, just for the record, that was good times, man. So, she was a good girl.
Slow down, JJ.
She was a wonderful girl, really was. Yeah.
all right. Let's move on to the next round of questioning.
Not so fast there, Mr. Vaughn.
Oh, wait a minute. Do we leave Kelly out? on
No,
that?
we left you out.
Oh, what am I? Okay, what was the question again? The weird promotion.
Yeah.
I've been a part of a bunch of them that were weird, but I think the weirdest ever was the rest home on East Side when I worked for KLUR. Sam was doing one of these things where it was like a
Same Sam.
Sam. It was a.
I'm sorry, do the Sam's voice for me again.
Keith, we've got a remote today.
Okay, hold it. Now you try it.
He got. It was a deal where we had like a series of remotes that were back to back, and each one was 2 hours. And it was an all afternoon thing. And when one remote was over, we had to haul to the next one to get there before the next break. And on my list, it said something rest home, and I thought, that can't be. Well, I got there and it was.
Oh my.
And here's the weirdest part. It was a rest home in East Side full of black residents. And here we were, a country station, kind of out of our, I wouldn't say our audience, but very fish out of water. in a way.
Demographics? Anybody?
Yeah, and the demographics. But here's the thing that was weird. We got there, and for the first hour, it was very awkward. But after we got to know people, and they knew it got to be really fun after a while.
Yeah.
And then once everybody had loosened up, it was time to go home. I kind of wanted to do another hour.
Wait, what were you selling at this remote?
It was that they had available space for your loved ones whenever that time came, and we even interviewed one of the women that worked there, one of the management or whatever.
I love it here.
But I just was like, for the first 30 minutes, I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever been a part of. But it turned out not so bad at the end. But it was weird. And rest homes are very, let's be honest, man, they're very depressing. And
Can be, yeah.
That just shows you in radio you can make anything fun. Anything can work out.
Now, there was a rest home that we used to do when we used to judge the ribs.
Oh, the Rose.
When they used to do the ribs?
Yeah. What's it called? Rose
I think so,
Lawn,
yeah.
something
It
like
was
that.
right there.
And that was always a really good time.
Yeah.
Rosewood, I believe.
Rosewood, yeah. And we did that 3 or 4 years in a row, and it was always a blast. And she's no longer with us, but remember the judge? What was her name?
Arthur B.
Arthur B.
B.
Oh my
yeah.
God, one of the greatest women of all
Really
time.
nice.
And she used to come out and help, and she'd be like, "Well, what do you think, Brad? Do you think these are pretty spicy?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say, Judge."
I didn't speak too much because I remember I had to stand in front of her a couple times.
Oh, for real?
And it wasn't judging. It wasn't judging ribs.
I went.
Did she recognize you?
No contest.
An attorney that Sandy and I had when she was going through her divorce was
Save that
was
for the
friend-
The divorce
was-
with you?
was friends with Arthur B. Williams.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a reception for her, and we went to it.
Oh, she was beautiful.
She is a wonderful, sweet lady.
Was.
Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah, was. You're right. Yeah, she passed on.
Man. Wow. All right.
And if anybody's in heaven, she is.
You bet.
no
Oh,
doubt.
yeah.
Yeah, she was
With her
amazing.
gavel. Judge.
And, it always irritates me when people talk about, famous people from Wichita Falls. And I think she wasn't famous outside of Wichita Falls, but she was certainly famous in Wichita
all right.
Falls.
No, her voice
Big time.
mattered here in
Yeah.
Wichita Falls.
It
That's
was
for
big.
sure.
Okay, next round of weird questions. This was suggested by upper management that I bring this up. Steve Bailey.
Start with me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Always.
Tell us about your UFO experiences.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm sorry. I will say the only thing I ever say about UFOs is I believe they exist because we're a planet and we're on it. So why can't there be anywhere else? That's my only way to.
You're not gonna
that's
say
my
anything more than that?
I don't. I can't.
Because
Because I've never seen anything. I mean,
Oh, really?
And no,
Sounds to me like you have.
Unlike-
and someone has convinced you not to speak about it.
Yeah.
well, there's a whole circus up here, but I mean, it has nothing to do with UFOs.
You've never been visited by the Men in Black to be
Sadly.
quiet?
No,
All
no,
right.
no. I can tell
Keith,
you.
aren't you the Men in Black?
Yes,
No.
well, yeah.
Generally, daily.
Somebody show up with a cattle prowler.
It's Keith and Johnny Cash.
That's
Those are the
me.
Men in Black.
We're going around, yeah.
Since he brought this up, since the
Yeah.
boss brought this up, I know it's who it was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we do know that he does believe in UFOs, but and I think he's BSing us a little bit about the moon.
Yeah, that's all.
You know,
That's all. But
talk
in
about
joke.
that a minute, real quick.
Well, I will say this: UFOs. I think that some of them are explainable for sure. I mean, there's a reason that thing is bright in the sky. On the other hand, there are some that are not explainable, and then there are those that are. Come on, let's be honest. That's from out of this world. That's weird. What about you, Savor? You ever ran into anything or experienced anything?
Yeah, it's called the Cybertruck.
Yeah, no kidding. That's
Did you hear about the new game with the Cybertruck? It's like Punch Bug, but when you see a Cybertruck, you hit your friend and you say, dumpster fire.
boy, that's the truth.
So yeah, well, Steve hadn't seen UFOs, but he's seen UFWs, unidentified
The closest
flying
thing,
lives.
the closest thing to a UFO,
You barely caught him.
the closest thing to a UFO would probably be a damn drone, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That's really that's it. I mean, you guys are going to sit here and tell me you had a UFO experience.
Seen some stuff before, especially in Colorado. When you're driving by,
I
the
could see
mountains.
maybe, okay. I have not.
What about you, Kelly? You've been
Pennsylvania.
you've
And I've
lived,
looked at the stars a few times, and they're not there. So
you've lived all over the place in your time with the Air Force, and you've probably been near some places where UFOs might be interested in what's going on there.
I mean, why wouldn't they, right? There's good wine and no. So here's the deal. I'm married to a pilot, and I mean, you can still like me after finding that out. And boss man knows I'm married to a pilot. So every time my husband comes near him, boss man's first question is, how are you doing? And his second is, have you seen any UFOs? So my husband, on every flight that he goes on, talks to the other pilot and says, hey, what are your UFO experiences? So neither I nor my husband has yet had a UFO experience, but he has at least had interaction with people who have videoed it.
Oh,
Yeah, the stuff like exactly from Skinwalker Ranch with the really fast lights making absolutely insane 90-degree turns or 180-degree changes of direction. But not me personally. I'm open to it, though. I mean, I am. My butt's not.
Take me to your planet.
Brad, what about you, Brad? You
Well, I've seen things in the sky,
Yeah.
but let me start off by saying this: if in fact there are visitors from another galaxy or whatever, that would mean that they are much more advanced than we are. So when you see lights in the sky, it is quite it's quite likely that those are not UFOs, because why would someone from another galaxy need lights on their vehicles? It's not to be able to see. It's not to be able to be identified by the United States government, because they don't give a damn about that. So when you see lights in the sky, it's almost
Good point.
1,000% certain that that is not, in fact, a UFO. However,
Brad, they're mandated for safety.
yeah, exactly. However, Michio Kaku, who's the greatest string theorist of all time, he says that it's absolutely impossible that we are the only living creatures in the universe, and it is. Another thing is, Albert Einstein proved his theory of relativity by photographing light going around the moon. If light will bend, and he did prove this, if light bends, then so does time. Time can bend. And if in fact time can bend, then that means there are wormholes, which means you can get from one point of a galaxy to another in next to no time whatsoever, and the speed of light can be, I guess, gotten around. So therefore, it is quite possible that there are creatures or friends or maybe enemies from another galaxy who are in fact visiting us. Now, why, you might ask, have they not said, "Take me to your leader"? Well, have you ever gone into the backyard and said to your dog, "Take me to your leader"? Well, that's exactly the same kind of thing. If somebody is so advanced that they can get here from there, what the hell would we have that they would be interested in, unless it's some sort of a resource like gold
Or Oreo cookies.
or Oreo cookies, especially the latest Oreo cookie, which it came out, and it's going to have the taste of Coca-Cola in the cream filling. So
Okay.
maybe the UFOs are here trying to get our Oreos with Coca-Cola filling. But yeah, I definitely believe, and I'm a Christian, and I believe that God did in fact create those other creatures. And he will, in good time, send them to talk to us, and we will deal with it eventually the same way that God would have us deal with it. But yeah, if you see a blinking lighted thing in the sky, it's almost 1,000% certain that it is not, in fact, a creature from another
There you
galaxy.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim. When you give your point here, just go. Yeah, what he said, because he covered everything, and I knew that you would have a lot to say about this because.
And you mentioned the moon
Look
a
at
second
Jim's
ago.
face. He's just about to tell us about his abduction.
And then Steve, and then
And I blew it for him.
Wife number 7 came in and swooped me out of this world.
And you mentioned the moon a second ago. Let me
Yeah.
finish this by sharing with you, and I don't think anybody around this table knows whether I'm serious about this. I've shared this with people. Do you remember when Obama was president and $3 trillion went missing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I remember that.
right after he was elected, $3 trillion went missing. I know exactly where it is. No, that was Hunter was way too young at that time for hookers. I know exactly where the $3 trillion is. You know the side of the moon that we can never see because the way gravity is, it always keeps us away from us? It's there. That is where our Army bases and Air Force bases and what do they call them? Space Command or whatever. All those
Force.
Space
Yeah.
Force. Those things are all on the other side, and that's where that $3 trillion went.
Get this man a tinfoil hat.
I don't know if any of you think I really believe this or not, but you'll find out soon enough that the other side of the moon contains a
Wasn't-
whole lot of really cool stuff.
Didn't that come from the movie Spaceballs? I don't know. I better be careful. You're serious. I better be careful.
Well, I don't think it was in Spaceballs. I love
No,
that
it was
movie.
not. I'm just saying it was kind of different. The answer.
All right,
So-
Jim, what do you think?
My encounter took place on the Canadian River just outside of Amarillo.
Winning.
Ooh, been there.
Me and a group of buddies
Hey, buddy.
were out in a sandy area, and we were given grocery sacks.
Full of mushrooms.
No,
12 packs of beer.
they were empty grocery sacks, and we were sent out, and we got in a straight line, and we were to expect what was called a snipe.
I knew you were going there.
one of
As soon as
those.
you said grocery sacks, I knew we were going on a snipe hunt.
Yeah.
And we had a group of wild people
Wild man.
on the other side that were herding
Yeah.
these snipes towards us. And as they got closer and closer, the anticipation built and built, and we were so excited about catching that snipe, and nothing ever came.
Got sniped out.
That's my UFO story.
Snipes are good eating.
Anxious anticipation that something could happen, maybe, but it never happens.
So we had a bunch of snipers out there.
My grocery bag is empty. There's nothing in it.
I look at it like this. We've had cameras since, well, for a long time. And now everybody has a camera. And the incidence of good photographs of UFOs has not increased.
No.
They're still blurry. They're still wavy. Nobody's gotten a good definitive shot ever of a UFO, which freaks me out.
Because they don't have lights on them.
Well, that's another thing. I wonder if they ever fly into our atmosphere and all of a sudden they look down like, can they see us? Oh, my God. Did you leave the lights on?
Yeah.
We were supposed to turn those off at Alpha Centauri.
Damn you, little Elon.
Well, I've never seen a UFO, but I'm a believer that UFOs are probably us, maybe, from the future.
Oh, yeah.
So you think time travel is more possible
Yeah.
than aliens?
No, I think some of it's probably alien, but I believe probably a certain proportion of it is probably us from the future. I
So
would say.
have we like integrated with the aliens if it's a portion is us and
Well, that's probably going to happen in the future, you know? I mean,
According to
think about it.
Cornelius, it's not going to happen.
John Cornelius?
No, Cornelius from Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes, Cornelius.
If it was Don
Yeah.
Cornelius, coming up.
I love the meme that's going around social media right now, where it says it's got a photo of the people that are on the Starlink up on the satellite.
Oh,
right
my
now.
God, those
the ones
guys.
that have been stranded
Yeah,
forever.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
it sound like-
February, they're
It
going
said
to
they're going to be coming back in February.
Yeah,
It says
yeah.
we've only got a certain number of months for everybody on the planet Earth to get their ape suit ready.
Oh, my God, that would be beautiful. Yes, we must.
I mean,
I cannot understand the lady, though, that's up there.
Yeah.
And every time you see a picture of
Her hair.
she has her hair going straight up into the air.
Yeah.
I know it's for this, to let people know, hey, we're in an anti-gravity place, but
Right.
still, it looks a little wacky. It looks
It
a little
does.
Don Kingish, if you.
Since
does
you
have that.
mentioned the ape thing,
Yeah.
here's an interesting thought for you. If you love the Planet of the Apes, the original with Charlton Heston,
Right.
These guys are astronauts,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
Their job is to go into space, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're going to tell me that all of these astronauts, Taylor being Charlton Heston's character, all these astronauts did not put two and two together by looking up in the sky and saying, "Hey, there's the moon." There's only one moon that looks like that. How come they didn't go, "Oh my God, we're on Earth"?
things that make you say,
Is that a continuity problem?
Absolutely, it's a continuity problem. How come when I was a kid watching that movie, I'm like, "There's the moon." They showed it.
Because there would not be a movie. If they, that's all I can give you. That's all I
maybe
can
they
give you
couldn't.
on that.
They
That's all I
couldn't-
can give you.
They could have just left the moon out of the movie. Then,
Yeah.
That was as a kid. That movie was kind of frightening to me.
It was.
did you watch the new one? It just came out.
I've seen parts of it.
It's getting too real.
I don't.
You know?
Yeah, it is getting the CG and the effects are just.
Get your hands off me, you damn dirty apes!
I'm Cornelius.
Heston.
Not Don Cornelius.
The soul train.
After this break, we're going to make it big.
All right, UFOs here in Wichita Falls. Did you know that there's been
Oh, yeah.
reportings of UFOs? If you go online and you search on these websites, you'll find all these people that have reported UFOs.
Wasn't there a
from
person
here
that
in
was
the area.
driving from Wichita Falls to Burke Burnett and saw one on the highway over by Shepherd Air Force Base?
Right. Yeah, I've heard about that one. There was one from I think it was early 60s on the road from Randolette up to
Wait.
Wichita Falls.
In the 60s,
Yes.
I think we can attribute that one to LSD.
Well,
plead the fifth.
the guy.
I can guarantee you.
If I remember the story right, the guy lived in Randolette, but he worked on Shepherd, and he had a shift that started like at 5 a.m. and he was driving into town early in the morning, and he came around a bend in the road, and there was this thing parked in the road, UFO of some kind, and there was something standing outside of it in the road, and he stopped. He says that the side of it open. The thing walked into it and it took off.
Cool.
That's badass.
Yeah. Supposedly over here between Shepherd and Randallette.
That's crazy.
It's online. It's online. You know it's true. So,
But honestly, I think what's exciting about that is people think Wichita Falls, there's nothing to do. And we're cool enough to have aliens think that
think about this.
we're worth exploring.
But they didn't want to stick around. You saw how fast? What? We're gone.
In those days, we had nukes over here at Shepherd Air Force Base.
Fascinating.
Yes, we did.
What was it a gray?
I don't know. The guy's description was he looked like a soldier. That's what he said. So it doesn't sound to me like it was like a gray alien. It sounds to me like it might have been a human.
The future thing coming back.
It could be, yeah. But yeah, there were some nukes at Shepherd and B-52s for a short time back in that time period.
Matter of fact, there was a magazine for the officers' wives. Back then, it wasn't officers' spouses; it was officers' wives.
Yeah.
And it was called the Mrs. Missile.
Wow.
That's how how prominent they were during that time.
Hell, we got the Missile Club still
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there
yeah.
on Shepherd Access.
Access
What did you say? They were called the Mistress Missile?
In some cases.
Oh, okay.
In some cases.
I hear wrong. Bad ear.
That was the strip club. Sorry.
Man.
That was Steve's second wife.
Mistress Missile.
Were you there? Wow. You're the guy.
That was actually a fundraising promotion where you got to write your wife's name on a missile.
There you go.
I thought it was going to have something to do with those bullet bras in the 60s.
Miscellaneous. That's what they called that.
All right, Steve. Do you have any question you want to ask anybody in the room?
Why are you always picking
I
on
wanted
me?
to here's something. I've always associated Brad's voice a little bit with Obama. The way he talks like this sometimes. Do you do Obama impression?
No, as a matter of fact, that's a really interesting thing that you say that because one of our colleagues' kid, has he ever been here with the
He never has done. We need to get him on.
When
here.
Obama was president, or actually when he was running up to be president and everything, everybody talked about what a great orator Obama was, and I can't hear Barack Hussein Obama. Have you ever seen the Charlie Brown specials when the teacher's speaking?
Yeah.
When Barack Hussein Obama is talking,
too.
all I hear is wah, wah, wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah, wah. So anyway, shortly after Trump was elected in 2016, a kid came into the studio and he opened the door and I was on the air and he says, Brad, I kind of think I understand what you're talking about with Obama now. And I thought maybe we were coming to a conclusion here. And he goes, when I hear Trump, all I hear is wah, 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 wah. And kid was wanting me to fight with him. And I just said, I can certainly understand that. Yeah. And he looked so dejected because I didn't want to fight about it. But yeah, no, I do not.
Sometimes you end with a kind of an upward, and it sounds a little bit like him. That's why.
Well, I'll have to work on that because
I think you could do it. I think you could.
Yeah, you're only like 12 years
You're
late.
right, Bailey. He can probably do it, but there's only one that can do it.
All right, since Steve
He did it.
All right, since Steve asked the question of Brad, now Brad gets the floor. Brad gets to ask a question of anybody in the room.
Oh gosh,
Put him on the spot.
Putting me on the spot. I'm trying to think of something that would be of interest to somebody who's not in the radio business. Jim, when you were a firefighter, now, did you know that if you stuck with being a firefighter, that you're going to have a nice pension eventually, and you're going to be paid way more than you'll ever be paid as a radio disc jockey? And if so, why the hell did you come back to radio disc jockeying?
I was too young to even care about that kind of thing back then.
Amen.
I loved being a firefighter. I loved being an EMT. I loved the job. I loved the thrill of it. I loved running into the danger. What I didn't love was a building full of rednecks that I had to work with for 24 hours at a time.
Oh, wow.
Because, you see, their way of entertaining one another was to irritate one another, agitate one another, see if you could take that young rookie over the line to the point that he lost his temper. And I had not learned temperance by that time yet. I have not learned, to just laugh it off and just keep right on going. No, and we had a guy named Goofy Now, to give you an idea of how goofy he was, he spelled his name Goffy. We had another guy that was his cohort, his compadre, his backup, whose name was Igor. And I don't guess I need to tell you what he looked like. I can tell you he had a bad eye, but he could still see through it, or else he wouldn't be working for the fire department. But anyway, they made life difficult for all of the rookies for a full year. And I thought, I'd succumb to it so many times that I just felt like it was never, ever, ever going to end. So I wanted to be a firefighter. I really did. But I could not work in that environment. And so it wasn't too long, because when you're a firefighter, you work 24 hours on a shift, and then you're off for a day. Then you work 24 hours, you're off a day, work 24 hours, and you're off 4 days in a row. Well, with my free time, I sold paint at Sears, and I did drywall and did a few other jobs, odds and ends. But then I had a good buddy of mine. His name is Robert Golightly. He was a part-time DJ. And he got me interested in this because he took me over to his friend's house, who lived upstairs in his bedroom on the rich side of town. His dad had bought him an actual control board and had a full radio station that he would broadcast to for a couple of blocks around. Wow. And play music for every night. And so I was just so immersed in this. I thought it was the greatest thing. And then Charlie Broomhead, who was my scoutmaster, was also the station manager for KPUR, which is now under our umbrella. Mm-hmm. But now it's not an AM rock station; it's an FM
progressive country.
Yeah.
Or Red Dirt
Outlaw. Yeah. So anyway, he ran the station, and I went to him and I said, I really want to do this. And he goes, okay, well, you can learn with this guy named Ron Chase, and the rest is history. Now, yes, I have thought many, many, many times, Brad, over the past, 20, 25 years, if I'd have just stayed in the fire department, man.
Yeah.
If I'd have just stayed in the fire department, I'd have to be a full salary.
You'd be the chief by now.
No, I would be gone.
Fire Marshal Jim.
When my 30th year came up, as opposed to my 50th year in radio, when my 30th year came up, I would have retired at full pay.
Well, let me just say this. We're real glad that you came over.
Well, some people are, some people aren't. But I've just really did something. I kept pursuing that thing that my dad always said: if you enjoy what you do for a living, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy being a firefighter, but I didn't enjoy the people that I worked with.
Sure.
I do love being in radio, and I love the people I work with. So there's a big difference.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome answer.
Yeah, many ways to be rich.
Yes.
As they say. All right, it's your floor, Big Jim.
Uh-oh. Keith,
Uh-oh.
I want everybody to know, even more over and above what you've already let us know through the interweb and different things like that.
Yeah.
What vehicles do you own? And give us the specifics about each and every one.
Current vehicles only?
Oh, my God.
Current vehicles only.
Oh, Lordy. Okay, we'll start with the one that's the mess. I've got a 2003 Lincoln Aviator.
Why did you choose that?
It was a deal.
Yeah.
I just got a good deal on it years ago. It was an SUV. I've had it since 2005. And currently not running. Mm-hmm. Just sitting in my driveway, taking up a spot where something that runs could be. Mm-hmm. Also, I've got a 2000, these are daily drivers, 2017 Ford Explorer that we take everywhere. I've got a 2003 Mercury Marauder, which is a Mercury Marquis with the 4-valve Cobra Mustang motor and a police suspension. It's a little hot rod. Crown, looks like a Crown Vic, kind of. Also a 91 F-150 XLT Lariat, which is in the middle of a complete makeover at this time. Wasn't supposed to be, but it got rear-ended out behind my house. No one wants to make a joke about the rear-ended behind my house.
It would just be hacky at this point.
So
I'm caught up in this. Go ahead.
a woman had a little medical emergency driving down the street and lost control of her car and smashed into the back of it.
Steve Bailey's chasing me.
It's a 91 model, and you know where I'm going with this. Insurance company doesn't want to give you anything for
They
it.
want to total your car and give you $3,000.
Totaled.
Exactly. So I said, okay, tell you what, guys, go ahead and total it, and I'm keeping it. So I kept it, and I've got some friends in the paint and body business, and thought I could get out of this really cheap. Oh, we got into working on it and getting it fixed. There's a lot of other problems. Lots of other problems. So it's getting a complete top to bottom makeover. Not a restoration, but a makeover. And that should be done in about 2 weeks.
Cool.
Also, a 66 Ford Falcon Sport Coupe, 289 small block, 4-speed top loader. It's a nice little, fun little car. And then there's my 57 Ford Ranchero. It's got a stroked 331 Ford small block and a Tremec 5-speed. And that's the one we take everywhere, all over the place. Did I leave anything out? I don't think I did. I think that's all.
What's the body count there?
6, I think.
Okay.
And that's just current.
Yeah.
And
Currently, yeah.
what do you call the Ranchero?
The Vaughnchero.
There you go.
Of course.
Yeah.
And we call the Falcon the Falcon A.
Oh.
We do.
Nice.
Yeah. It's the Falcon A.
That's my favorite, by the way.
The Falcon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It
I
is
really
a fun
like
one.
it. I really like it.
Yeah, I have a problem with cars. I buy one, and once it's paid off, I have a hard time thinking it's a good idea to sell it.
What's your insurance?
It's stupid.
Okay.
It really is. I let my wife deal with it. I try to stay out of it. 'cause
It's better to just not know.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a couple that just have liability only.
You sound
That's
like a cat hoarder, but
Sort
with
of.
cars.
Yeah, yeah. Once I get them, it's hard for me to let them go.
Right. You're emotionally connected.
Yeah, that happens. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm doing a whole series on my YouTube channel about cars that I've had in my life and why they mean something to me. Even cars that weren't mine.
Shameful plug.
Oh, yeah.
Shameful
Shameful
plug.
plug.
And what
know
is
what?
that YouTube channel?
It's Keith Vaughn's Flying Circus on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yeah.
I love that though, because a lot of guys that are that are car guys,
Yeah.
they come and go. They don't care about the cars. They just want
Right.
to fix them up, sell them, move on to the next thing. So, and the fact that you talk so with such endearing feelings about your vehicles, it's kind of cool. It's sort of like me and guitars.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, Brad, how many guitars is too many guitars? And I said this. I have way more guitars than I need and nowhere near as many as I want. And that's how you are about vehicles.
Yeah, I always, it's funny. Lisa always says you can't save them all. It's kind of like, pets.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of like a challenge is what it is.
Because there have been times where she has said, no, we're not doing that. We're not getting that one. And I'm kind of glad because I was just sitting here thinking we'd have 9 that I could think of if it were up to me. And I don't have the space for them. I really don't. They sit out.
Well, it sounds to me like you need to buy a new place.
I do.
She would sit there and say, "No, you're not going to get that one."
She usually doesn't put her foot down. But
Wow,
there have
that
been,
would be grounds for divorce if it was me.
There have been a few times where she's like, "No, we don't want it." Now there have been a few that got away that, in hindsight, she's like,
We should have.
should have done that," but
It's your
not
turn,
many.
Keith.
Oh, okay. Kelly Quinn,
Hi.
what was it like? I don't want to get too personal here, but what was it like for you and your family when it got combat time? When you were an Air Force wife and things got really hot?
So my husband is retired Air Force and he was a fighter pilot. We were living in Okinawa, Japan, which is a small island, which is, if Japan wasn't isolated enough from America, just go and make it like a Guam of Japan. So we're living on that island, and a small part of my husband's squadron deployed to what was called Operation Northern Watch. And what it was is we would just patrol the no-fly zone and make sure everybody was respectful. And none of my friends' husbands got on that deployment, but my husband was. And when it happened, my husband happened to be airborne on his patrol when shock and awe happened. So he was in the air watching shock and awe.
Oh, wow.
When that kicked off, they took the 3-month deployment and made him deployed indefinitely. And to tell us all this, the base commander brought all of the spouses into somebody's living room and said, hey, this is what's going down. Your husbands are all now indefinitely deployed.
Man.
What I haven't mentioned is, besides being isolated on an island off of Japan with my friends not in the same situation and my parents literally on the other side of the world, I was pregnant.
Oh, Lord.
So I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to have this kid and my husband's not going to be here and my mom's not going to
man.
be here. And, well, eventually he did come home and he was able to be there for our kid's birth. But yeah, I mean, the times when he's gone, it's complicated because with that same thing, Good Morning America was up in one of the E3s, which was watching down over on the war happening below. And I'm sitting there with my girlfriend, Janae Dixon, and her husband almost got taken out. And it was literally, he was just missed by a SAM, and it was on
Wow.
Good Morning America.
Oh, my gosh.
So it was,
Oh.
and, and the worst part about it was, like, because I was pregnant, people would be really mad if I was just getting completely blackout drunk. So, like, I had to learn other coping skills.
Man. My dad was stationed in Okinawa during Korea, and he never had much nice to say about Okinawa.
I loved Okinawa.
Really?
Okinawa as an island, the
Yeah.
Okinawans as a people, 100% just LOVE loved. It's on an island, and I'm a scuba diver, except when I'm pregnant. They get really mad at you when you deprive the baby of oxygen. And it was like the surface of Mars. The diving there was so interesting, and you could just walk out and go. And if you weren't a scuba diver, the island was so close to all these reefs, you could literally go out and snorkel and have almost the same experience. So for me, I loved Okinawa. I loved the food. I loved the people were really nice. I mean, I'm a typical American, so I only learned enough Japanese to be able to tell the taxi driver how to get my drunk ass home.
I think he liked the people. I think it was the land and he said it was rocky. Everything was rocky and volcanic and
Right, Mars.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been to Mars, but I mean, in my mind, that's what Mars looks like.
Yeah.
So for me, I was just having an alien adventure.
Okinawa.
Yeah.
It's a very odd place because you think about it. World War II, there was a lot of mayhem on Okinawa, and just kind of creepy. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, we're almost there.
I love that Rodgers and Hammerstein musical. Oh, Okinawa, when come sweeping down,
No.
down the plain.
That was close.
And
No,
the,
no.
Close, but not.
Yeah.
and the craggy rock.
That's great.
Still not convinced or what?
No more Yankee, my Winky.
The Donga need food. By the way, nobody ever says, or at least I've never heard anybody say this. They always say thank you for your service to the person who actually was the person who had the official service there. But thank you for your service because spouses work real
yeah,
hard.
that's
And children.
and children, yeah.
It's really
Absolutely.
like one of the biggest gifts that we were given is right before my kids, my kids came, we were here living, and my husband retired here from Shepherd Air Force Base. We never thought we'd be able to let our kids go to the same high school the whole way through.
Wow.
And I've seen that happen. If he would have stayed in, we would have moved every year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I personally, it takes me about 6 months to get comfortable in a new place. I was like, I'm just going to be depressed, or I don't know. I could take up like Oxy or something, but or you could get out, and that's what he chose to do. And our kids were able to graduate. Our youngest just graduated from in the last class of Rider. And, to me, that was the biggest gift as a military family that we could give them.
And he's joining.
Yeah.
He has joined. the Merchant Marine?
He actually chose to go to Stephen F. Austin instead.
Oh,
we
okay.
dropped him off last Tuesday.
I didn't know
Nice.
that.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing. He's 18. He's got time for whatever he wants
Sure,
in
absolutely.
life. And he also has the privilege of changing his mind.
Absolutely.
So,
And if he goes in with some school,
right.
Yeah.
Right. So, I don't know. Well, I feel like I am sitting on the sidelines with a bucket of popcorn with kids. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see how it comes out.
that's awesome.
I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, and sold it in a garage sale.
Oh man! Well, before we roll up here, we're getting close on time. We've done real well on time this time around. We'll see if we can.
Steve,
keep
you
it.
got to keep the marriages. You got to keep them to at least 2 each week.
We'll need like
Next time we'll talk about all my children. You know.
we'll need like a
That'll take
graphic
the-
to go along with this.
That will take the whole hour, by the way. So don't bother coming in. Just Keith and I will talk about that.
Well, I was just thinking, sitting here. I don't want to get into anybody's personal experiences here, but I was thinking, as I looked around the room, Steve, how many for you? How many marriages?
Four marriages. Yeah.
All right, 4.
Yeah.
How many times you been married? 4 times.
Been married 4 times.
4
yeah.
times. All
Yeah.
right. Savor is a lifelong bachelor.
He's the only one.
I've
yeah.
learned, and I'll tell you, a lot of people will, how come? I say, because I've DJ'd so many weddings and seen so much toxicity. I mean, I've seen somebody get slapped while I'm setting up, and I'm like, I'm not
Was
sure
that-
if we're even going to. I mean, we got all the money.
Was
in
that a
advance.
Hispanic couple? They're passionate.
And it was a mix of and I did a Puerto Rican Vietnamese wedding, which was interesting.
I bet the food was good.
No, but the thing is her side was from Chicago. His side was traditional Vietnamese. He was a tattoo artist. They had a slam dance as their opening dance.
Oh my God!
Rage Against the Machine was their first song.
I love these people.
I was like, what kind of party? I love it.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that's and I've learned from
So they had like hot dogs topped with lumpia.
something. It was just I just walked in and it was just like I look at this side and I look at this side and I'm like,
Only in
where this goes
America.
with this.
Only in America. And I look at the other side of the room here, and if I'm guessing right, I believe Big Jim, you're on number 2.
I am. I was married to my first wife for 28 years, and things went mental. And 10 years later, I'm married to Sarita, and she's the love of my life, and I know what real love is now.
There
So,
you go. And Brad is
forever.
also a deuce marriage man.
Yes, I was married the first time for exactly 365 and a quarter days. On our first anniversary, we signed the divorce papers. And the one that that took, Gail and I will be coming up on 42 in January.
Wow.
Damn.
And I'm a El Duso marriage person too. My first one flamed out in about 2 years. Yeah. But the other one is stuck.
And Kelly made the right decision to begin with.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like it's so much about getting lucky, but this is just one more example of how I am your diversity and inclusion hire. Seriously, I dated so many like hot flaming Cheeto assholes that the fact that I ended up married to a good guy.
That's hot.
Yeah. I was hooked. If you were a jackass, I was like lapping up behind you, huh?
You're like, I'm one strike away. I'm one strike away from doing a long time.
You
Are
were
gonna write me?
attracted to the bad boy the wrong type.
I was, and long hair, and I married.
Wow.
I married a
That is
military
crazy.
guy. I mean, whatever.
And one of the nicest guys on the planet, I might add.
Right.
That is
And
good.
if I would have married anybody else. So when I first married Richard, we moved out to California because Air Force. And I immediately tried to pick a fight with him because my girlfriends told me you need to know how this guy fights. And that jackass wouldn't fight with me. And I go, that's fine. Why don't you just sleep on the couch tonight? He goes, no, we're married. None of us are ever sleeping on the couch. Now let's talk this out. And I'm like, well,
Ooh.
Well, he has described you
Man.
as his dream girl. So why would he sleep on the couch? His dream girl is here.
Mine, I walked past that good girl and go straight to the one. I said, let's get straight into arguing. Because that's how I know you're going to be the one for me.
you want to see if she's got the passion.
If you're throwing a beer in public at me, or if you're trying to run me over, or throwing a iron that's been on for like an hour, that's love right there.
Now that's how we're different, because you know how I fell in love with Sarita? I was dancing with her. I put my hand on her butt. She grabbed my hand and pulled it up on her waist. And I said, that's the girl. That's the one I want.
See?
Isn't that weird?
And I'm the one that was before she said, put your hand on my ass. That's wifey right there. How about no 3
I'm trying to come up with something, but I can't come up with anything. You would think I could with 4 marriages, but no, I can't think of any. They all. The sad part is 2 out of 4 of them came out of my dad's damn donut shop. I mean, they went to work for my father, so
Well, they got jobs out of the situation, so
yeah,
that worked out.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
That's great. 2 of them from your dad's donut shop.
Yeah, sure
Yeah,
did,
you went into the shop and you're like, those donuts are great. Look at those holes.
Another quick reason why I'm not married, because I had a best friend. We're still friends, but at the time we were DJ partners.
Yeah.
He thought it was cool to marry an ex-girlfriend of mine, which I told him, I said, this girl she's bad. That was with I said, I was broke on a bike and she was bad. You got money, pension, and all that. We'll see how that turns out. That was wife number 2.
Kelly mentioned about donuts and all. You know who Haley Welch is?
Yeah.
She's the Hawk Tool girl.
Oh, yeah.
She has
She has a name?
Yeah, Haley Welch, and her latest statement. I heard her say this the other day.
Classic.
She said, you have to understand. I said this to my good friend Chelsea. I said, honey, what's good for the whole may not necessarily be good for the soul.
That's good.
It's kind of ironic. How somebody learns. But, she's got a platform, and she's actually making herself look good at it.
And I had no idea she was talking about donuts.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, we
real quickly, those donuts and the holes both made me a lot of money when I was a kid.
Good. That's
I had
awesome.
a good little summer job for a lot of years. So
well, donuts are a good thing. Who used
No,
to say
they're
that?
not.
They're
the worst thing in the world for you. But,
Who was
Santa
it
Claus ended up in trouble using those
Somebody
3
had
words.
that as
Those
a
donuts
phrase.
have happiness in them.
Who was it that used to say that? It's a good thing. Who was that?
Oh, Martha Stewart.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart. There you go. Donuts. They're a
Right
good
before
thing.
she went to prison.
All right, we got to wrap. We're almost at our time. We are at our time.
Is it our
limit
time to make the donuts?
here. It is our time to make it the donuts. Speaking of wives, my ex-wife, my first one. Whenever last time we spoke ever, she was leaving the parking lot, and she turned to me and she says, "I will never talk to you or see you ever again." And I think that's probably the only thing she ever kept her word on. Never seen her or talked to her since 1986, I think.
Well, just remember
Yeah.
this, that it's something you must always understand, that your wife is technically your ex-girlfriend.
Ooh, you're right.
So I never got married.
That's one way to think about it. That's true.
I don't have a lot of money.
Well, it's good that it all has worked out for everybody. Well, everybody but Steve.
Still working on it. And he still has.
Steve has got a
Belief.
let me tell you what. Everybody in here has got an awesome family. Steve's got a great family.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've been very lucky. I mean, really. I mean, one thing for sure, I have a lot in my family.
Well, all
and-
joking aside, you have a beautiful group of kids and grandkids and great. How many all kids, grandkids, and great grandkids? How many you got?
I have 8 children.
Yeah.
I have 22 grandchildren.
Holy cow, you have 8 kids?
Yeah.
I do. Been married 4 times. I mean, different wives.
8 is
Anyway,
enough.
I had
Like, not
I had a
step
harem.
kids. We're talking like 8 kids from Steve's loins.
Yeah.
Yes.
8.
Yeah.
Holy.
And 22 grandkids. How many?
I'm just crazy about this stuff. I'm sorry.
How many great grandkids?
Great grandchildren. I have 4 already. And you know what? Just 5 years ago, I had none. So
That's great.
So
Pretty busy.
34 kids, grandkids. You could start your own pro basketball league.
you know what? Let me tell you. You know what just happened? Hang on. I just made a mistake.
Oh, you did?
3 great grandchildren. Yeah, 3.
Three
right.
I
grandchildren.
got carried away. In the moment. I'm
33.
sorry.
33.
Oh, I thought he was going to say 5 divorces.
There we go. All right, that was Steve's parting shot.
Yeah,
now
that's it.
Savor gets one before we go.
I'm not going to get married, so that's the
There we
parting
go.
shot. Or at least not yet until I find.
I don't believe that,
Until I
first
find the
of all.
right one.
Yeah.
I'm not looking.
Well, Steve says that the right distance is 20 years. So
I guess if I find somebody in the nursing home, so be it. At least it'd be a hell of a celebration.
Let me just
I hear
say,
there's some judges that hang out there.
Just bring me the
let me
blue
just
pill.
say never. Really. You
Well,
know.
I've known you for 20 some odd years, and whoever that future woman is damn lucky. That's all I got to say.
I got a son out of the deal.
That,
so
yes, you
that's
do.
what I'm saying.
A beautiful,
And a beautiful
grandson.
I'm not like on
right.
Steve's level.
You're
You know what I'm
working
saying?
there.
No,
You're
but
working.
you got a good-looking grandson. You really do.
Why
He's
do
beautiful.
why do I get the feeling that his wife to be is going to walk right up and just slap him?
That's
No,
probably
she's
the
gonna
one.
throw a beer at
and
him.
that's going to be the one. I said no. I've been through that before.
All right, Kelly Quinn, parting shot.
My parting shot is Tic Tacs, not just a breath freshener, but proof there are aliens out there.
Ooh. All right. Brad Austin.
Okay, we'll go back to UFOs. Don't we all think it's really interesting that Billy Mumy, you know who we are,
Right.
Yeah,
He's from
Lost in Space.
Lost in
Lost in
Space.
Space.
Yeah.
is considered by the United States government as one of the most the most respected of all people other than government people when it talks about unidentified flying objects. Billy Mumy is the guy that everybody goes to when they want to find out what the heck is going on with UFOs.
Wow.
And he used to be on a TV show called Lost in Space.
He was Will.
That's
Will.
crazy.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah, I knew he was in the UFO community in some capacity. True. Wow. That's amazing. He's also a musician, I hear.
Yeah, he's a bass player.
Yeah. Big Jim Russell.
So barely a musician.
One step above a drummer.
Yeah.
Jack Bruce begs to differ.
While we're on outer space, that's where my mind is right now.
Okay.
Out in space. Out in space.
Out in space.
Yeah.
Help me out, Jim. Help me out.
Parting shot, Keith.
It's my turn. I want to encourage everybody to help Memorial High School and Legacy High School manufacture their new rivalry that everybody's working so hard to create. I'm getting a real kick out of this.
Can't we just love one another?
Yeah, it's.
Why can't we be friends?
I think
Why can't we?
they need to. I get a kick out of everybody really pushing the rivalry. Have you heard the new term for Memorial Stadium?
Bring it.
They're calling it Death Valley.
Yeah. Valley.
Did they know we're not in Arizona?
Yeah,
I know that
Death
makes
Valley.
I know that makes Joe Golding so proud.
There's going to be a rivalry between these schools. It's going to happen.
It's inevitable.
But I wish it was more organic. Everybody's really shoving it hard. But it's going to be
That's what she
interesting.
said.
It's going to be the battle of the twins.
And
The same schools, they look alike. I mean,
yeah, and I will say this about the new high schools: they sure do look good from the
They do.
road,
They
especially the one as you're heading out of town on 287. It looks just wonderful.
Inside's
out there.
wonderful too.
Yeah.
Interior.
And I hope they do something with the other schools that's worthy. I know Ryder's got plans, but I don't know what they're going to do with Wichita Falls High School. Hopefully something good. But yeah, go, who is it? Mavericks? What's the other
And
one?
Leopards.
Leopard. Go Mavericks, go Leopards.
Yeah, I'm proud of both these schools, and the
Yeah.
kids are going there because they're really, as you say, they're getting into it, and the spirit's all. I drove past Memorial right before school started, and all the bands and all the drill teams and the cheerleaders were out there,
Yeah.
and they were welcoming the staff into the school. Oh my gosh, it gave me goosebumps because this is what it's all about, man.
Yeah, it's think about it. There's no alumni. How weird is that for a school to not have any alumni? It's got to be a weird experience.
Can you say that word one more time?
Alumni, is that right?
Alumni.
Alumni.
Steve, how do you say it?
Alumni.
Alumni.
Brad?
Aluminum.
I'm saying it.
Aluminium.
Yeah,
Past students.
I think I say aluminum way more than I say alumni.
So, I don't know. I was alumni before I heard Keith's pronunciation. Now I think I'm going to be team alumni.
I like alumni. It's not like Illuminati.
It's not
Very good.
It's not pronunciation. It's pronunciation.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with Old High or Ryder. What are they doing with Ryder?
Middle school.
Yeah.
My dad's former high school was a middle school and an elementary school, and they still did their high school reunions there. I think they should make the schools available for high school reunions.
They
That's a
probably-
good idea.
You know,
That's a very good idea.
Until Hershey goes away, I mean, same thing.
That's a very good idea.
know,
it's
well,
good
you know,
stuff.
Hershey's not a high school anymore.
It's going to be middle school too.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I heard worse. I heard they were going to take it down. I didn't.
I doubt it.
The school I went
I hope
to
not.
was
I
turned
hope not.
into apartments.
Really?
Now,
Yeah.
see, that would be if they could. If
And
they
then the gymnasium remained a gymnasium, and they would rent it out to the public. So, like, you could do, like, people could host whatever karate
hops.
or judo or gymnastics, whatever. They
What
could
was
use
that
the gym for
school?
whatever.
Austin, they turned into an apartment
yeah,
complex,
and it's really cool.
and it's worked out well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we got a shortage of housing. That's a building that's not being used. If
Yeah.
someone's willing to put the work and money into it, why not, right?
There's always somebody to do that. You wait.
Well, there we go. There's a subject for the next podcast.
Bum, bum, bum.
All right, it's been good. Steve Bailey, Kelly Quinn, Brad Austin, Big Jim Russell, and Savor left the room.
Well, he had the last
He's a
word.
very
He's
busy.
done.
He's a very busy man. He really is.
Hey, we appreciate everybody listening. Feel free to share this, and we'll be trying to get this up on some other platforms here in the next few weeks. And tell everybody about it, share it, and we'll be doing it again in, 30 days, roughly?
Sure.
All right. So till then, everybody, take care. We appreciate you listening.